Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. We're so glad to be kicking off your night. I'm Gabe Evans.
And I'm Olivia Walter. It feels so good to be back at the desk today after spring break last week.
Yes, it does, but it seems like students did not bring back any warm temperatures from the beach last week.
I agree. It was definitely not the warmest welcome back to Oxford. Let's check in with our weather anchor Mackenzie Cox for a look at our current conditions.
It has certainly been a chilly welcome back to campus. You might have seen the snowflakes this morning. Right now we're at 41 degrees and cooling off this evening. Stay tuned for the latest in news and weather.
Thank you, Mackenzie. I think the weather is perfect for some inside activities like a visit to the museum.
Lucky for us, NewsWatch reporter Ole Tanksley paints a picture on the purpose behind the campus museum.
There is a hidden gem on campus specifically for art lovers, supporters of creativity, or just want to explore outside of their comfort zones. On March 5th, the University of Mississippi's museum hosted an open reception to honor those who are shaping our community.
I think one of the most important events that we have every year is, in addition to the exhibits where it brings out the talent of the art that we have in the museum holdings, but also the artists who are moving through Mississippi and allow us to show their work here. So the additional exhibits that are coming are always exciting.
Featured at the event was Homage to International Voices by Frank Estrada, along with Luster Willis, a known self-taught Mississippian. Last but not least, our very own faculty will have an installation piece highlighting their works as well that is here to stay.
They basically focus around the faculty and staff, people from different countries, different backgrounds. And so I didn't really want to focus on myself, and I also wanted to focus on something that you can see happiness and joy.
Art is an expression of what it is to be human, and art can really connect us with one another, but it can also connect us with different times and places and people. So I hope people come to the museum and leave feeling curious and want to learn more. They're inspired. They might want to go create a piece of artwork themselves.
It's not too late to plan a visit to the museum. Students are welcome anytime, whether it's for admiration, inspiration, or studying. There are misconceptions about the museum's purpose, but the fact is, it's there to bring people together over a shared interest. Reporting for NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Ole Tanksley.
Moving into local news, Oxford residents are raising questions about high electric bills following the late January ice storm. Northeast Mississippi Electric Power Association says the storm did not lead to a rate increase. CEO Keith Hayward says higher bills are mostly the result of heavy heating during the long stretch of freezing weather before the outages began. Some online accounts showed estimated usage during the outages, but customers are only charged for actual meter readings. He also said storm-related delays caused some bills to cover nearly 2 months of usage. Customers who need help covering payments are encouraged to ask about payment plans or assistance options.
The Mississippi House of Representatives passed a bill earlier this year that could conduct a clinical trial to study a potential treatment for substance use and mental health disorders. Ibogaine is the compound that would be studied, and it is derived from the Ebola plant of Central Africa. Late last month, the bill passed the Senate's Public Health Welfare Committee, but awaits approval from the state Senate. According to the State Department of Health, the number of opioid-related deaths more than doubled in the years of 2019 and 2021, raising concerns among lawmakers, prompting this study. The effectiveness of Ibogaine remains unclear, but the Mississippi State Senate is just one vote away from playing a large role in further research of the drug. And the Oxford Pantry is preparing to host their largest fundraiser of the year. Empty Bowls is a community-driven fundraiser that will unite restaurants and volunteers, giving them the opportunity to donate handmade ceramic bowls, soup, and just their time. The event will take place tomorrow between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. with admission being $25. Attendees will receive a bowl of soup, bread, and a drink, with all proceeds being used to benefit members of our community in need.
Now, the Ole Miss Student Activities Association is gearing up for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow with plenty of events. SAA kicked things off today with a Charmed by SAA, where students were able to design their own charm bracelet on Union Plaza.
Tomorrow beginning at noon, you can participate in St. Patrick's Day group fitness classes at the South Rec Center and the Turner Center. Also tomorrow morning beginning at 10, SAA will host Lucky to Lead on the Union Plaza, where you can stop by for a green lemonade, create a bracelet, and more.
This will also kick off Leadership Engagement Ambassadors applications for the spring.
I'm hoping the weather will be nice for all of those fun events tomorrow, but in the meantime, what can we expect to see from weather tonight?
Well, it's been a cold day on campus, and that is not changing tonight. Even cooler as we head into the evening hours. But we will be back with more in weather right after this break.
There's an epidemic spreading. Scientists say it can change your brain. It can release dangerous chemicals like formaldehyde into your bloodstream. It can expose your lungs to acrolein, which can cause irreversible damage. It's not a parasite, not a virus, not an infection. It's vaping.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Shall I tell you about my life? Say I'm a man of the world. I've flown across every time, and I've seen lots of pretty girls. Guess I've got everything I need. I wouldn't ask more, and there's no one I'd rather be.
Never ever drink and drive. Could you live with the shame? From DOE, supported by AXA Insurance.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. It has certainly been cold on campus, even snowing this morning, despite being almost 80 degrees yesterday. We're at 41 degrees right now, partly cloudy skies here on campus. Winds a little bit high and gusty, but sitting at about 13 miles per hour and a 36% chance of precipitation. So you might see some raindrops as you walk around into the evening hours. Now, it's been a similar day all across North Mississippi. We're in the low 40s all across the region. Our warmest 43 in Tupelo, but not too much variation here today. Now, into tonight, we're going to be at 23 degrees, so it is certainly going to be cold. You'll need a jacket if you're headed out to the square or have evening plans. Some rain showers as well, so that will be more concentrated in the early evening, clearing off as we move into later hours. And again, high winds. So if you bring an umbrella, just be aware that it might flip on you. And then tomorrow we'll be back to almost 50 degrees, sitting at 47, mostly sunny skies, lower winds, and no chance of precipitation. So a much calmer day than we had today, which is always good news. And it should be a similar day all across the region. We'll see low temperatures in the morning and evening hours, sitting at the upper to low 30s, mid 30s for us, but that cold front will be moving through our way. And then here we are currently under a freeze warning. This extends to Oxford and the larger Memphis area, coming out of the National Weather Service in Memphis. So you'll want to take some precautions. This is starting at 8 p.m. this evening and moving through noon tomorrow. So overnight and in the early hours, you'll want to limit your time outside. If you have any pets or plants, bring those indoors, and then consider dripping your pipes if you know that you have issues with your water system. Now, looking at the 5 days, we do have some good news coming up this weekend, almost up to 80 degrees on Saturday, so we really just need to stick it out for these cold temperatures until then.
Well, I seem to have to say this every year, and it's something my parents taught me, but spring is never here until after Easter. We come back from spring break, I don't care when the seasons actually change, it's going to be cold, even though it was 80 degrees yesterday.
Right.
But,
well, I really hope it starts heating up, but what is heating up is baseball. What do you have for us today, Parker?
Yeah, tournaments were in full swing. We had people all over the South covering the basketball games, but rifle made a headline of their own. All of this and more when we get back.
You know, you're doing a great job, but you're not using all your assets. With a body like that, you can go places.
Sexual harassment makes you feel like less of a person. For help and hotline numbers, ask for the Stop Sexual Harassment booklet at your public library.
Be a little more sexy. Hey, we're talking about your job here.
No, we're talking about sexual harassment here, and I don't have to take it.
Sexual harassment violates you, and it violates the law.
Each year, hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Find fun activities to do, like boating and biking, or camping and hiking, plus much more. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to NewsWatch. I'm Parker Fulton. Let's get right into sports. Starting off at the range, Audrey Gagnon defended her title as an individual national champion for Ole Miss Rifle. The Rebels shot 23-82 in air rifle to reach their aggregate. In head coach Will Shaner's first season, Ole Miss has tied the best placement at the NCAA tournament in program history. Gagnon made history by shooting her fourth career 600 in air rifle, which tied former Rebel Leah Horvath with most in program history. Gagnon also became the second woman and third ever student athlete to achieve perfection 4 times at the collegiate level. Gagnon had a thrilling come-from-behind win in the final round over Caitlin Sullivan of Nebraska to win back-to-back national championships. Coach Yo and the Lady Rebs have earned their 5th straight NCAA tournament bid. It is the Rebels' 22nd NCAA tournament in program history. Coach Yo looks to once again get back to the Sweet 16. The Rebs are a 5 seed and they will take on 12 seed Gonzaga at 2:30 on Friday in Minneapolis. Staying on the topic of women's basketball, Mally Chase Faulkner headed to the SEC tournament. Here it is.
Here in Greenville, South Carolina, at the SEC Women's Basketball Tournament, the Ole Miss Rebels came out strong and never looked back against the Auburn Tigers. Ole Miss led 48-20 at the half, shooting over 60% and knocking down 6 3-pointers. The defense stayed aggressive all night, highlighted by a big block from Lattimore, helping the Rebels stay firmly in control. Christina Walla really led the way, controlling the pace and making big plays when it mattered most. And Cody McMahon was a true team player tonight, creating opportunities and picking up some key assists. When the team is working together like that, this is a tough one to stop. All adding up to stay strong, 73-57 win tonight. And when it was all said and done, Ole Miss controlled the game on both ends of the floor, shooting over 50% and dominating the boards. That strong performance carried them to a 73-57 win for their first win in Greenville. This is Mally Chase Faulkner with NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Thank you, Mally Chase. Now on the men's side, BJ Ridgway headed to Nashville to cover Game 3 action.
The Ole Miss Rebels defeated the Alabama Crimson Tide in the quarterfinals of the men's SEC basketball tournament. Malik Diaz started off the game hot with 2 quick threes off the jump, what was able to help the Rebs get a first half lead heading into the break. With AJ Stewart also having 13 points in the first half, as long as the team having 20 rebounds in the first half. Coming out of the half, Travis Perry hit a deep three, which kept the momentum going at the beginning of the second half for the Rebels, until the momentum shifted for Alabama Crimson Tide going on a 7-0 run. But Comberdine put a halt to the Tide's momentum as he hit a three of his own, but that wasn't enough as the momentum stayed with the Tide, hitting three after three to cut the Rebs' lead. But with the game going down to the wire, the Rebs held a 5-point lead with 1 minute left. But Patton Pinkins was able to come up with a crucial block, what gave the Rebs the victory, and continue their Cinderella story here in Nashville. The Rebels will advance to the semifinals of the men's SEC basketball tournament. BJ Ridgway, Ole Miss NewsWatch.
Thank you, BJ. Now on national sports news. Team USA defeated the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic semifinals. Team USA pitcher Paul Skeens held the star-studded Dominican Republic bats to just 1 run in 4 1/3 innings pitched. Junior Caminero struck first with a home run to put the DR up 1-0. Gunnar Henderson of the U.S. responded with a home run of his own in the 4th inning. Roman Anthony hit a solo home run in the top of the 4th, which ended up being the run that decided the game. Mason Miller ended the game with a controversial last pitch that was called a strike against Geraldo Perdomo. Team USA will face the winner of Italy versus Venezuela in the WBC Finals. That's all I have for sports. We have such a packed week for sports here at Ole Miss. I'm personally most excited for the softball game Wednesday night. What about y'all at the desk?
Thanks, Parker. Personally, I am most excited for the baseball game against Kentucky this Thursday.
That will be a fun one, a perfect midweek pick-me-up.
It's sure to be an exciting game, but for now, make sure to stay tuned because coming up after the break, we have an update on the conflict in Iran.
NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back.
All right, pal.
Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Can I play with it?
No, absolutely not. It's not a toy. You know that. Anyway, I need it to protect you, your sister, and Mom.
But what about the 8 kids who get shot every day by mistake?
Where'd you hear that?
Where do you keep it?
It's hidden.
I bet it's on the top shelf of the closet, under your sweatshirts. Is it loaded? Remember when I found my Christmas gift? You always told me to be curious.
No, that's not what I meant.
And when it's just me and Mom,
Okay.
I can
Is
use
it
the
like
gun to protect
click or
her.
something?
No, Justin, I promise. I'm always here for you.
But Dad, you're not always here.
I got some Oxy after I hurt my neck. First, I took them to feel better. Then, I just kept taking them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
If you don't tell your children about the danger of drugs, you may find a problem staring you right in the face. A problem that won't go away. Or even worse, one that does.
Decade, Mississippi has made major strides in increasing children's literacy rates across the state, but there is still work to be done. NewsWatch reporter Campbell Baker talked to Ole Miss students working to promote literacy across Mississippi.
Students gathered in Union Room 325 tonight with pens, paper, and a shared goal to advocate for literacy across Mississippi. The Children's Literacy Project hosted a letter-writing event encouraging students to contact state legislators and push for the creation of a Mississippi Reading Day.
To have a literacy day just for us and just for our state really highlights the achievements that we've had and where the areas of growth we need to address.
Organizers say the proposed day would recognize the progress Mississippi students have made in reading scores while continuing to promote the importance of strong literacy initiatives statewide.
The fact that our organization is focusing on Mississippi children that a lot of times have bad stigma around being from Mississippi and maybe being a little bit uneducated, and that's just not the case.
They hope these letters will encourage legislators to officially commemorate the impact educators, students, and literacy programs are making across the state.
We have decided to do this because we feel really strongly about the importance of children's literacy, about how every child needs to learn how to read and needs to learn how to read well in the state of Mississippi, and how that's foundational for continued education.
Reporting for NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Campbell Baker.
Prices across the country are continuing to rise as we enter the third week of military strikes in Iran. Since the beginning of the war, when Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz, gas prices surged up to 74 cents a gallon. As of this morning, gas prices stand at a staggering average of $3.72 per gallon. This is the highest gas prices we have seen since October of 2023. President Trump made an urgent request to several countries over the weekend asking for help reopening the Strait of Hormuz, but so far no country has committed to helping in the conflict. Olivia has more details with this issue.
Thank you, Gabe. Americans may be feeling the impact of this conflict at the gas pump, but let's break down why. President Donald Trump is urging NATO allies and China to secure the Strait of Hormuz, which is a key global oil shipping route. The narrow waterway off Iran's coast carries a large share of the world's oil supply. Trump thinks other countries should help keep the U.S. en route open, even if he gave a warning saying, quote, "It will be very bad for the future of NATO if these countries fail to police the strait." But some allies are pushing back, with places like Germany and Great Britain saying NATO has no responsibility for policing the strait, with German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius saying, quote, "It is not our war, we didn't start it." Let's hear now from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt and German Foreign Minister Johann
to help the United States to reopen the Strait of Hormuz so that we can stop this terrorist regime from restricting the free flow of energy. And the fact that they are doing so just underscores why President Trump needed to take this action in the first place.
First of all, we want to hear from Israel and the United States of America when they intend to have achieved their military objectives in Iran. Once we have an idea of that, we believe we must move into the next phase, namely a phase in which a security architecture for this entire region must be defined, specifically with the neighboring states.
In addition to the rising gas prices, the war in Iran is also causing concern for American farmers. Closure of the Strait of Hormuz has caused a struggle in the production trade of fertilizer, surging the prices and creating tension on the current supply as farmers begin the spring planting season. The United States imports about 35% of its fertilizer every year. The holdups include things like ammonia and sulfur, which are key ingredients for fertilizers. Last Thursday, during a mission in support of the Operation Epic Fury, 6 airmen were killed when their refueling plane crashed in western Iraq. Yesterday, the Pentagon released the names of those who passed: 38-year-old Captain Seth Koval, 30-year-old Captain Curtis Angst, 28-year-old Tech Sergeant Tyler Summons, 33-year-old Major John Klinner, 31-year-old Captain Arena Savio, and 34-year-old Sergeant Ashley Pruitt. The United States military is investigating the cause of the crash and say it was not caused by hostile or friendly fire. This concludes today's update on the conflict in Iran. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the latest updates. Back to you at the desk, Gabe.
Thank you, Olivia. After the break, we'll learn how you can avoid getting pinched on this St. Patrick's Day. NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, "Read your lease. No pets allowed." My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
My name is Charles Taway. I was in the United States Navy, flight deck, Harry S. Truman. A veteran friend of mine took his own life with a gun. What didn't take place? What didn't happen that could have prevented that? Safely storing your weapon is important. It's your guard that you put up beforehand to ensure that if you're not in the right state of mind, you're still watching your own back. Service never stops as far as locking it up properly. Protect yourself and those around you.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow, which means it's time to put together your best green outfit.
But don't worry, if you don't know what to wear yet, you're in luck. We have entertainment anchor Cassidy Rickley here to give you some festive outfit inspiration. Let's take a look.
St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow, which means there is a lot of green, celebration, Irish pride, and of course, fashion. The biggest rule of the day is simple. You just have to wear green. If you're heading to a St. Patrick's Day date party or parade, this is your chance to go all out and get creative with your outfits. I love seeing people dress up in festive leprechaun costumes, rocking a green wig, or just wearing a festive shirt to show off their holiday spirit. Now, let's talk accessories. It's easy to make any outfit festive with a 4-leaf clover jewelry, a green bag, or if you're really wanting to embrace the holiday, a box of Lucky Charms. It doubles as a snack and a fun accessory. And finally, if you're like me and St. Patrick's Day snuck up on you after spring break, here are some ways to look festive with items you may already have. For example, there is nothing wrong with throwing on a white or green shirt, some jeans, and green accessories you can find in your closet. Whatever you plan on wearing tomorrow, I hope you have a fun and safe holiday, Rebs. I'm Cassidy Rickley with your latest in fashion. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Cassidy. Now, Chicago is looking a little green.
Every year, Chicago celebrates St. Patrick's Day by dyeing the Chicago River green.
The dyeing process takes about 45 minutes, and depending on the weather, it can stick around for a few days.
This tradition has been around since 1962 and was originally started by the Chicago Journeyman Plumbers Local Union using an eco-friendly vegetable-based dye.
Now, I don't have really big St. Patrick's Day plans. I know I'll be at home studying for an exam tomorrow that I have on Thursday, but Parker, I know you may have a couple of things.
Well, I'm just going to, head to the baseball game at Swayze, get me a little green baseball cap. What about y'all?
I'm also studying for a midterm tomorrow.
Well, it's weird. We have midterms after spring break because of the ice, but, everybody will have their plans. Just make sure to wear your green so you don't get pinched. But that's all we have for tonight. I'm Gabe Evans.
And I'm Olivia Waltzer with your latest news.
With Stormwatch, I'm Mackenzie Cox.
And with Sports Watch, I'm Parker Fulton.
Thank you for watching NewsWatch Ole Miss, where we keep it live and keep it local.
Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 5 p.m. Good night.